Alright, we're going to show you how to make quick updates to your WordPress page. This can be done in posts or any other text editor, as long as the settings are correct. We're using Visual Composer that came with this theme, and it's a really easy way to kind of see what you're doing on the back end, and it'll kind of give you a good idea of what it will look like on the front end. So we're logged into the back end on this theme right now. And to get to our pages, we're just going to go to pages and click it, and that'll give us all pages. And today we're working on Susanoki.com, which is a poet. And so what we want to do is we want to update the news section, which gives kind of readings coming up and things like that. And so let's go ahead and open this page, the back end. And what I did was I just opened it in a new tab. That way I don't have to keep coming back and forth when I want to go somewhere. So this will give us our news and readings, and you can see kind of how it's laid out and everything like that. And let's go ahead and hit preview, and it'll give us you can see what it looks like on the front of the website, so you can compare the two side by side. You can see we've got our image and a title, then we've got some text, and then just a little separator, and then again does the same thing. Then we go down to our readings, and we have a little image of the location. We have again the title and the text, and it goes through and through. And these are actually have been done alphabetically. We're not using a post method here. We're just manually putting them in because there's not a ton of them. If there were a ton of them, we'd probably lay this out a little differently and do it via post, and come in and grab those posts and reorganize them based on date. But so let's say we want to add a new one, and let's do it on a date that's not super easy. It's not in the front or on the end. So let's do June 30th of 2018. So we're going to want it to go through underneath Unnameable Books reading, and then above the Evil Grin Poetry series. And if we go back to our page and just scroll down a little bit, we can see here's our readings title, and then now we start to get into the different little entries we had. And here's our Unnameable Books, and here's our Evil Grin Poetry series. All right, the way this was set up was so that the owner of the website could come in and do updates themselves without too much of a hassle. So I'm going to kind of lay it out here. We have one row here, and then we have a secondary row within that row, and the secondary row is broken into two columns. I believe this was set at a 1/3 2/3. There we go, 1/3 and 2/3, and then we have a separator down at the bottom. um, so it's pretty easy to actually to mimic what's going on here. We're just going to clone this entire row. The outer row clones these two pieces of paper, or what look like pieces of paper. And you can see now we have two of the Unnameable Books, and then we have our Evil Grin Poetry series. So we're going to change this second Unnameable Books entry, and we want it to be our June, what did we say, 30th entry. So we're going to go to the text block and just hit enter. Um, Sorry, I'll show you a little clearer. We're going to hit the pencil button, which gives us a chance to change it. And you can see it's in a heading 5, and that's what will actually force it to go uppercase on the front, because that's how we set up the website. And then we could see that our class is latest post entry, latest post title, and entry title. It's a good idea, if you have some classes here and you're not too familiar with what classes are, to just come in and change this. So we'll do some coffee shop, and we said June 30. And then if we switch back, we can see we didn't change any of the class or the heading because we put it in between these tags here, and we just changed out our text, and that's all we changed was this section here. So we kept all the formatting, and that'll be picked up by the browser in the front. And we'll go ahead and save changes. And now we have a secondary section below it, and this gives a little more information about where it is and all that. And this is all done in just kind of plain text. You can see we have all these data terms and divs and um, all this stuff. And you know what? It's really not necessary. All this is actually just being thrown in. This gives the article posts ID, the class for the posts, and the publish format. We don't need all that. This is really just a paragraph. So it makes it easy if we follow the same format and gives it some sort of consistency on the front. And that's what is the nice thing about using posts to do this, because we can set our format throughout the whole thing. But as I said, upon building this, there wasn't a lot of that as far as readings and things like that. And maybe it's something on this site that needs to be revisited down the road. But we'll just change that, and we're gonna make these different people. And I don't know too much about poetry, um, so we're gonna use authors. And I don't even know how to spell Stephen King, but we're gonna use him. And yeah, drawing a blank. John Grisham, I guess. I don't know how to spell that either. So we'll do that, and then what I wanted to do, I'm not sure that's how we spell his name. What I wanted to do was give links to the other poets here, and that just kind of it's beneficial to the other poets to kind of link up their stuff, and it's also beneficial to the site owner, where she gets some external links and things like that, and it's beneficial to the person maybe going to the reading, and they can see, oh, who is this person? So we'll look up Stephen King and find his page, and we'll just grab this, and we're going to link Stephen King's page. Now, if we do this, it may go to a new tab because it was set on the previous links are all in new tab, but we just want to make sure, so we'll do link options, and it wasn't. So we want to click open link in new tab and update so we don't lose them off our site. And with John Grisham, I'm not going to go look up another one. I'm just going to do this. All right. And we have an address. So let's just change it so we can go get the map. 800 Van. I don't know if that's an address, but that's okay. We're going to go look up that address, and let's remove that link. And all that was a Google link for directions. So 800 Vanderbilt Avenue. And it is an address, so let's go ahead and look it up. All right, we'll share, and we'll grab that link. Whoops. And again, we're going to grab the link. We're going to make sure it's opening in a new tab. Update, and simple as that. That updates all the text. Now we have this little image here, and that was just something to give visual appeal. This map doesn't really do anything. It just gives a idea of what's going on there. Um, and we could put an actual map in all of these. Then we go get a Google API. They did change the way that they accept map requests for an API. And again, at the time, wasn't really necessary to go and get a Google API. So what we did was we just close that down, and then we want to get a screenshot of this location. And we'll just grab a section of it here. And it'll give the image an idea of where it is. And so let's go ahead and upload this. There it is. We'll just drop it in there. If we want to get fancy, we could say some coffee shop. And we'll do the poet reading um, and something. And we're just setting alt tags for the image, and that way Google can kind of read this image and figure out what it is. What is that image that they have there? And we give them an idea of what it is, and there we go. And we already have it set at the settings we wanted because we copied the whole thing. So we don't have to reinvent anything here. We already have the blocks created that we wanted to do from the initial build out. So let's go ahead and preview our page and make sure did it all come out how we wanted it to. So now we have, here's our unnameable books, and then we have a line, we have a new one, some coffee shop, June 30th, and we have our speakers, and if we click on it, it'll open up Stephen King here. And then we have our address so they can get directions. There we go. And it's as simple as that. Thanks for watching.